I think when I first started, my hopes were very simple, and it was ultimately to make a couple or a singleton or whoever it was into a family. I have a friend who had a baby through surrogacy themselves, so I'd seen the outcome part and I'd seen the family that that creates, and I really wanted to be a part of that, but I hadn't really thought about what actually goes into becoming a surrogate until I got in touch with Brilliant Beginnings. They kind of opened my eyes to what's involved in the journey and what it takes and who it takes. And the more I learned about it, the more I loved the idea. It was like a good book. I just couldn't put it down. I had to, fill in the next application form or complete the next assessment or whatever it was. And I couldn't stop myself from continuing and continuing and continuing until I got further into the journey and further into the journey that way.
When I first thought about becoming a surrogate, I had lots of questions along the lines of, could I be a surrogate? Because I didn't know what the rules were in terms of my age, and also I've got back problems, and I was concerned about whether or not that would affect whether I'd be allowed to do it. I started thinking about all these things, and I just decided to give Brilliant Beginnings a phone call. It was really nice because I spoke to Teresa, and very quickly I had an answer that yes, it would be possible for me to do this. So that was the beginning of my journey. I'd read like the Brilliant Beginnings website from like start to finish to see how the journey would go. As you go through the process, you realize that yeah, all the options are there and available, everything in terms of giving birth and that journey, that part of the journey, or the relationship that you have with the IP. I did start having expectations more because I knew what to expect more. So the more knowledge that I had, the more happy and comfortable I felt about the whole thing.
I think when I started the journey, I had a really big assumption that a surrogacy journey was all about the intended parents. But the more I go into it, the more I realize that a surrogacy journey is actually more about the surrogate. I was very nervous to begin with talking to Tracy about being too specific about what I wanted from intended parents and who I was looking for, because I didn't want to cut off my chances of being matched with somebody. But the more I got into the journey, the more I realized how open and honest I could be, and that's not a bad thing. In terms of Brilliant Beginnings, I think the matching process kind of blew my mind a little bit, because I was matched on points that I don't even remember talking to Tracy about. There were bits in my profile I don't remember saying, yet somehow they became like a crucial point of the matching process. So when we got the profile for our intended parents, we watched a video of them, and as soon as we saw them, me and my husband were just like, those are our intended parents. Absolutely 100%. And then the more we got to know them and the more we spoke, the more I could understand how we are the perfect match. I have not felt nervous once, because there's either always something new to learn about them. We've been in touch now nearly 18 months and we're still finding out new stuff about each other, the same way normal friendships grow and develop, and you catch up on the last 30 years of life, or there's new things in the journey to go on with. There's a new appointment that you need to go to. There's a new conversation of medication or transfer or a heartbeat. It's always just been excitement at getting to the end and taking that family picture and seeing what all this was worth it for is just it's just something that I can't wait for.
The relationship that I've got with my IP has just really, it's been such a natural progression. And I think that is all because of the match. The first time that I read his profile, I just really loved him from the moment that I read about him is the best way to say it. And then when I met him, like we just started talking and we just got on so well. And I didn't need to think about it. It was such an obvious decision just to say, yeah, this is the person that I want to have a child for. Honestly, I could not have chosen a better match for me. Like in my dreams, I never would have imagined that it would be so perfect because it really is. I think being able to give someone the most important thing in the world is just an absolute pleasure. It's the most precious thing you could give someone. And I feel like completely honored that I'm in a position that I can do that for someone. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see his face, when he's past the baby. And it's just going to be the best thing in the world.
I think it means the world. You only have to look at their eyes over anything, and you know just how much it means to them. It's only when I'm with them that I realise just how much I'm giving them at every single stage and how thankful they are. We've had 2 or 3 scans now privately so that they could see their child, and I don't look at the screen. I look at them knowing just the love and, like, devotion that they already have. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like when they have their baby knowing that I did that for them. It's gonna be amazing.